Colonel Brady has given us the honor of hearing his address, and I'm sure that it will interest us all.
Well, my friends, your attention, please. Fellow citizens, friends of the unseen audience, from the hallowed hills of sacred Sinai, in the days of remote antiquity, came the law which has been our bulwark and our shield. Age upon age, men have looked to the law as they would look to the mountains whence cometh their strength.
Yeah, Colonel Brady, could you point more in the direction of the enunciator, please?
When they would look to the mountains whence cometh their strength, and here in this courtroom we have seen vindicated. We have seen vindicated.
Excuse me, it's Mary Estabrook speaking to you here. Our advisor here in Chicago tells us that our time here in Hillsborough is over. Mary Estabrook's now returning you to our studios and matinee musicale. Good night.
From the hallowed hills of sacred Sinai came the
Somebody call a doctor! Give room! Oh Lord, show us a miracle and save our prophet.
Get away! Fast as we can.
Here in my town in the White House. And as your new president, I say what I have said on
My God, what are we going to do?
What's happening?
A doctor! Get him to a doctor!
What's Brady? What's going on? What did he fall down? What happened to him? Is he all right?
Get him up. Praise God.
How quickly they turn, and how painful it is when you don't expect it. I wonder what it's like being an almost president 3 times, and having a skull full of undelivered inaugural speeches.
Well, something happens to an also-ran. Something happens to a man who always comes second in a foot race. He becomes a national unloved child, a balding orphan, an aging adolescent who never got the biggest piece of candy. Unloved children of all ages insinuate themselves into the spotlights. They stand on their hands and they wiggle their feet, and they split pulpits with their pounding. Their tonsils turn to organ pipes. Show me a shouter and I'll show you an also-ran. I might have been, and I never was. You know what he was? Is that your name? A Barnum bunkum, Bible-beaten bastard.
You ass! You have no more right to spit on his religion than you have the right to spit on my religion.
Well, what do you know? Henry Drummond, even in defense of his enemies.
There was greatness in that man.
Shall I put that in his obituary?
Oh, you can write any damn thing you like.
How do you write an obituary for a man who's been dead for 30 years? In memoriam MHP? Then what? Hail the apostles whose letters to the Corinthians never was? 2 years, 10 years. The tourists will ask the guide, who died here? Matthew Harrison. Who? It fits. What did he say to the minister? He wrote his own obituary. The national tear duct for Weeping Water, Nebraska, who flooded the nation like a one-man Mississippi. Do you know what he was? That's where it is. Barnum bunkum, Bible-beaten bastard. Yeah. No. Okay.
No, then I say, you go through that and I say, he who troubleth his house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant. to the wise heart.
We're growing an odd crop of agnostics this year.
You know, Hornbeck, I'm getting pretty sick and tired of you.
Why?
Because you never pushed a noun up against the verb except to blow something up.
Oh, that's a typical lawyer's trick, accusing the accuser.
What am I accused of?
I charge you with contempt of conscience, self-perjury, kindness of forethought, and sentimentality in the first degree.
Why? Because I won't erase a man's life? I tell you that Brady had the same rights as kings.
Be kind to bigots.
Wrong.
Be kind to bigots, weak. Since Brady's gone, oh, we've got to be kind. How this world is rotten with kindness.
A giant once lived in that body. But Matt Brady got lost. He looked for God too high up and too far away.
You hypocrite. You fraud. You're more religious than he was. Excuse me, gentlemen. I must find my typewriter and hammer out a story about an atheist that believes in God.
Yeah, I didn't say any of the lines that I had earlier. We didn't get to it.
Oh, Bert!
Finally!
Rachel! Very well.
Let's go back 5 pages.
Get going.
It's probably more people they can peel over in this heat. Where are you going?
I'm not sure, but I'm leaving my father.
Rach.
It's my fault the jury found him guilty, Bert.
But
Partly my fault. I helped. This is your book. I've read it all the way through. Well, I don't understand it. What I do understand, I don't lack. I don't want to think that men came from apes and monkeys, but I think that's beside the point.
That's right. That's beside the point.
Mr. Drummond, I hope I haven't said anything to offend you.
Oh,
See, I haven't really thought very much. I was always afraid of what I might think, so it seems safer not to think at all. But now I know. A thought is like a child inside your body. It has to be born. If it dies inside you, part of you dies too. Well, maybe what Mr. Darwin wrote is bad, but bad or good, it doesn't matter. The ideas have to come out, like children. Some of them healthy as a bean plant, and some sickly. Well, I think the sickly ideas die mostly. Don't you, Bert?
Brady is dead.
oh dear.
what caused it, did they say?
I've got my knees yet.
Well, I
Oh,
was just going for it because no one was. It's taking a while.
Yeah. No, I can't even remember. Oh dear, I'm gonna miss that man. I can't imagine a world without Matthew Harrison Brady.
What caused it, did they say?
Bruce!
Yes. What happened there?
Well, you skipped.
That's okay. Keep going, please.
You dropped 2 pages.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's kind of wonderful.
Yeah, well done. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't go beyond. Don't go beyond what you can rock everybody.
Go on.
Okay, go ahead. A rash on the chin.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Okay, get going.
Where are we? We need a one.
Oh, you said oh.
I wonder what happened here.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, it's
Good enough.
What caused it?
Okay, that's perfect. What caused it? You have a line.
Yep. Matthew Harrison Brady died of a busted belly.
Oh.
You know what I thought of him, and I know what you thought of him. Let us leave the lamentations to the illiterate. Why should we weep for him? He wept enough for himself. The tear duct of Weeping Water, Nebraska, who flooded this nation like a one-man Mississippi. You know what he was? A born-a-bunkum, Bible-beating bastard.
You ass. 1, 2, 3, 4. You ass.